Okay, welcome to another show and tell video. I just found this, and this is a catalog by Curtis Uyeda Designs. Curtis was, if you've been a long-time stamper, you might have seen him at the different shows around the country. I don't know how many he did. He definitely did the California ones, and I've seen him out in Cincinnati and whatnot. But he was someone that was out of Palo Alto, California, and he first came on to kind of my radar when I used to look in Rubberstampmadness when I was working for a Stamp in the Hand company. And I think there was a company called Palo Alto Printing or something like that, and they had a line of rubber stamps. And I remember seeing some really cool drawings, and I could tell that whoever was doing those drawings for them really knew how to draw. You can tell instantly the people that really know how to draw, and those are really accomplished at it. And I can tell just instantly from his work. And they were all originals that he really was a fine renderer and technician with his media. Now I don't know what kind of pen he worked with. If it was brush markers or whatnot, but he has a lot of gesture in his pieces. And the stuff that he kind of focused on were Asian styles of drawings. I was kind of into his Hindu stuff, though, that he did over at Palo Alto, but he was just one of the best draftsmen, in terms of his style and just line quality. I don't know what size he worked in. He probably worked in a larger size and kind of reduced them down, because that's what you have to do to really retain quality. But just this piece of, work right here was, an art piece in itself. I mean, it was like hand stitched and bound like this. So just a lot of care went into something like this, and he printed that on there, probably with the traditional printing. I'm guessing he had a printing background, probably, studying on a university level. And he put this type of thing together, so you can imagine, just the care. It was almost like the zen of, everything that he did. Now, unfortunately, Curtis died kind of, suddenly and unexpectedly, and I was trying to remember kind of the approximate time frame, and I don't remember exactly. It might have been around 2000 or something like that. It's been quite some time, but it really shocked the, the community. He was a pretty young guy, and I don't know. It just came from out of nowhere. You saw him at a convention, one month, and you got news from it the next, and the internet was out there and whatnot. I don't remember how I found out. It was way back. It could have been even on AOL or something kind of bizarre like that. But I don't know. Word got out, and it just kind of shook everyone that kind of knew him. But look at this. All his type of work. These are all originals too. I don't know if he was referencing something like old woodblock prints, traditional woodblock prints. But when you look at these types of things like this, the things that I look for are things like gesture, pattern, negative space, line work, balance between kind of light areas and heavier areas, and kind of the yin-yang type of thing of, images and within the negative space. But this is the types of things that people don't really do, that if they, they haven't really taken art classes or whatnot. But see the shape right in here, the negative shape right around in here, has to be interesting as well. It's not just a positive mark, and that's what gives kind of drawings a lot of balance and whatnot. There's kind of a subconscious harmony, even if you're not thinking about it, And all of his pieces were kind of in perfect balance, with the surface area, and it was just really kind of a pleasure to look at these types of things. Now, I didn't really use these in my drawings. I have a couple of these pieces, and I really enjoy using them. I don't know if I have any of the Japanese stuff, which is the majority of his work. But I don't know. I should have picked some up, but who would have thought, You would have thought you had time. But just stuff like this, I mean, I wish I had that one right there, to put up on top of a rock or something like that, and have my celestial pieces in the background. I think I have this one right here, or at least I've used it. My mom has several of these pieces of his, so I might have used hers. But just really nice. Uh, I love this type of thing right here. These are the pieces that I was kind of into right here. I love doing different types of compositions around these types of images. And in my Fusion gallery on the Stampscapes.com website, I have some pieces where I've used and incorporated these in there. I call it Fusion because I'm fusing Stampscapes with other companies' designs in those things. It's not really a style, it's just, fusion of, multiple companies. Okay, I have this one right here for sure. I always love doing that one, coming out of a bank of some clouds and whatnot. But I love this kind of solid style of imagery in here, and I always found it to be really dramatic against a kind of a more three-dimensional background. It kind of, these pieces right here are kind of flattened, but it takes on the characteristics of the genre and region of in which these types of things come from. But look at these pieces right here, just a perfect little balance of positive and negative within these things, and the ornate types of detailing in these. Going back to Curtis though, and I don't know, they ran an autopsy, and I think Kat was the one that kind of let everyone know. Kat from that hosts the rubber stamp conventions here in California with the Carson show, and a lot of the rubber-ramas, the ones that Curtis did. So she was kind of a hub of things that were going on in the industry. But she, I forgot what it was. I think it was he went and bought a book somewhere, and he went and wanted to go lay down, and because he was feeling, I don't know, not well or something like that, and he just never woke up, as far as I understood. So. Yeah, just a really sad thing, but I don't know, as I look through here, I'm thinking about it, and thinking, man, I wish I would have picked up some more of these types of images. I think his family did one or two other shows, kind of in that Northern Cal area, probably at the San Jose convention. After he passed at some point in time, I don't know if it was just using up residual rubber that he had or whatnot, and I never really saw them again after that. I don't remember them being down in the Carson show. But he was one of those people he was one of the first people that only do unmounted. It was just him doing everything. And Kathy from Stamp the Hand Company, she only wanted wood-mounted stamps. This is going back when everyone used wood-mounted stamps, so I think he mounted a couple of them just to kind of get that qualification taken care of. But for the most part, you saw just carefully stacked little piles of rubber, on his display. So I think he used to be able to travel around to different shows just, with one gigantic suitcase with all of his pieces and kind of displaying it. Look at this right here in this catalog. He drew that little kind of cord, into each one of these catalogs. But these are all kites right here, and here's a kite flyer right here. So he was just kind of showing you what you can do with that little line like that. That would be cool to have, though, wouldn't it? Because you can put this little line or rope, and you can put anything up here. It doesn't have to be a kite. You can do a happy birthday or something like that, and put a little box around it or something like that. But that would be a really cool image for that. You might be able to find, some of his pieces. Oh, and look at these guys over here have this cord right here going to this one. So kind of, he's thinking in multi-dimensions. He's thinking in terms of a spread here. So you see, in terms of a kind of a general layout, in terms of bookmarking, see, all these characters are kind of looking this way. These guys are facing that way, and all these kind of guys are facing this way. So you have this kind of centralized composition like that, and that makes for a good compositional structure. little parasols, kimonos. Just really finely designed pieces like this. I don't know if these are... I was going to say they're not ATC size, but faux postage. A lot of people back in the 80s and kind of early 90s, maybe mid 90s, were doing a lot of mail art, so you saw a lot of these types of faux postage things stamped on envelopes back when, you know, a lot of people were still mailing, you know, each other. I don't know, mail art, that was a cool thing. We should bring that back in some kind of form. Just some really great looking pieces here. Oh, okay, now see, I have this one right here. I love that one. I had to mount it myself, along with all of his pieces. But I would have loved to have that one right there. That would have been fantastic. I don't think I ever saw that one. I think I would have picked it up. But I really like that one. Let me see if he has this other one in here that I have. Yeah, her. I never picked up that fire. I didn't even know he had it, but I have this figure right here. I really love using that. I've used it in a couple pieces. But, yeah, in the Fusion Gallery, I think I have her in multiple pieces. Great looking botanicals here, too. Boy. Just some really great work. And just like I said, a really fine draftsman, and just in terms of the line work and just precision, you know, pen and ink work here. Just a perfect balance of boldness and ornateness within that design, and that's what I always try to go for in my designs. Let's see here, some word stamps. I never saw these ones at the different shows. He didn't travel with everything, as far as I know. But, oh, he even did a alphabet set. I'm reading here to see if he actually redid these ones. These are slightly altered, so he was obviously like a graphic designer, you know, in order to you know, to do his own fonts and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I never asked him about that. I always, you know, we always chatted a little bit, you know, before and after shows. Everyone's always busy, but just some really good stuff. It's too bad that he didn't have like a, I don't know, it was probably too early in the game, you know, people didn't have, you know, a big bank of things on a website. I get, you know, like Facebook or whatever, but it would be nice to have had a collection of some different samples and usages of all these designs in there. A lot of people, you know, bought a lot of these stamps, and I don't know, it'd be kind of cool if they, you know, I don't know, we can kind of put some kind of posting of some pieces and cards that were utilizing his work, but very well missed, and just a really great individual, designer, and company. So anyways, do you remember Curtis Uyeda Designs? Do you have any of these pieces? And yeah, let us know in the comments section. Alright, so anyways, thanks for tuning into this rubber stamping show and tell.